In this video, we will go through an example of an entry into the hazard register. The example that we are going to be adding will be for two flammable chemical hazards found in the Safety Office's environmental waste facility. First, we will input the locations applicable to the hazards. In this case, I will use the ChemStore's location in ESC 109 and the environmental waste facility located in ESC 151. Then, we will choose chemical for the hazard class because our example involves a chemical substance. Next, we will enter the hazard descriptions associated with the location. So for this example, we will choose the flammable chemicals option. For our first entry, I will enter use of cleaning chemicals, as this first entry will be about cleaning solvents that can be flammable. As for this scenario, we will be addressing the use of cleaning solvents for disinfectant purposes at the workplace. In terms of the risk control measures, we'll indicate that PPE is available, WMIS-compliant labeling is being used, we are properly storing these chemicals, and training has been completed for students and/or employees. Other risk controls can include the inventory being kept at the cutoff quantity for fire safety code requiring a flammables cabinet. Next, let us head to the risk rating sheet and determine what rating we are going to assign for this hazard. Cleaning solvents have an unlikely chance of causing injury, provided that the previously identified controls are in place and are being used, and is minor in risk severity, so we'll choose low as the rating. Since we've chosen a low rating, we will not need any further risk reduction, and as such, do not need someone to implement any other control measures. Now, we'll create another entry, this time for pouring mixed chemical solvents into large chemical drums. Due to the mixed chemicals, there is a chance of reaction. As such, for our How Exposed column, this time we will enter use of flammables and organic chemicals for chemical reactions. Notice that although our locations, hazard class, and hazard descriptions are the same, the method of exposure is different, and as a result, we'll alter what control measures will be used, what risk rating we assign, and how the hazard will be dealt with. Now is a good time to mention some other examples of conflicting information that you should be cautious of when filling the hazard register. In this example, notice that although both entries have two hazard description types, the hazard descriptions must come from the same class. Chemical reactions is a chemical hazard and would not fall under the physical category. In our other example, while insect bites and sharps are both biological hazards, they cannot be in the same hazard description as they are not related to each other and will not have the same risk rating and controls. As a result, the correct way to handle these hazards is to place them on two separate lines. Let's head back to our example and continue filling it in. For risk control measures, we'll add the measures used in the previous entry, but we'll include SOPs being available. For other risk controls, we can say that some laboratory risk assessments have been completed. Now, for the risk rating, this time we have a likely event of injury occurring, potentially from explosions being created in the chemical reactions, and a major severity. As such, we will indicate that this hazard is a medium rating. For further risk reduction, we will complete any remaining lab risk assessments and have the laboratory supervisor complete them. If we head to the risk priority table, we can see that a medium rating should be dealt with within 1 to 3 weeks, so we can assign the following as the implementation date. And there we go. We have completed our entries into the hazard register and have made sure to segregate all conflicting information into separate rows for clarity. That concludes the tutorial information on how to use the hazard register. If you ever need to review any of the steps in this video, you may take a look at the hazard register manual found at the following link.